So then what about your first lessons as a conductor? How did that begin?
Yeah, so you know, there was a moment where I decided like I want to be a conductor now, and I saw Berlin Philharmonic and Simon Rattle downtown, and I remember there was like one phrase of music for strings, percussion, and celeste, and it's in the first movement. It's the movement is a palindrome, and it's a palindrome at the golden mean. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, it's 2/3 the way through is this where it mirrors, and at that point it's all these huge E flats, like rhythmic E flats, and there's all that stuff leading up to it, and then he just kind of like, as it got more and more rhythmic, he got less and less rhythmic, and like they all took over this energy, and kind of he just kind of stood there like that, you know, and I was like, oh, and I could see that they were interacting. Like he had caused them to become more rhythmic by being less rhythmic, and I was like, oh wow, like you've given control. There was something about that. You know, I mean, I kind of probably just wanted to do this. When I was 20, I probably just wanted to go like, ah, you know. But anyway, but so then that moment, that was really affecting. Yeah. And then I went toward conducting. And I was really lucky that my trombone teacher, Jeff Reynolds, who was in the Philharmonic for 40 years, he was friends with Joanna Carniero, who was the assistant conductor at LA Phil. So then, you know, so then I started studying with Joanna about 2 weeks later. And
in your first few lessons, what was taught? Like what is taught at first?
If you're just with when you just have teacher and student, there are kind of two ways to approach the lesson. The way that Joanna did it, which was really brilliant, is that I didn't really have any physical chops. I hadn't really figured that out yet. I had no real experience. I didn't really know how to hold the baton well, and it was kind of fumbling around. And so what we did is I learned a number of scores, and I would come in and conduct them in silence, and she would be like where the orchestra is, and I would be facing her. And then I would give cues and be conducting people, and she would say, no, 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 oboe, oboe is here, you know. And then I would look over the viola somewhere when I'm cueing viola, and then she would say, no, 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 I'm right here, like, you know, and get me to connect with these invisible people, and she would kind of move around and sing the parts, and because she's not I mean, she plays piano as well, but some conductors, the kind of old way of doing it is, you know, someone sits at the piano and somebody else is conducting, and then you switch, kind of is the method. And we didn't do that. It was all these lessons in silence, actually. Huh. So it's this really intense way of learning, and I still do that. I mean, I still have, when I go for a coaching or something, I'll find, like, I'll go in silence, and yeah.